In this video, I will talk about 7 names linked with Kaizer Chiefs this transfer window, and stick around because at the end I will talk about one player who might be leaving Kaizer Chiefs that we did not expect he might be. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I'm your host. If you're new to this channel, in this channel we speak everything Kaizer Chiefs. We bring you updates, then I comment on the situations and the things that are happening at Kaizer Chiefs. So if you are interested in that kind of content, make sure to subscribe and also like this video so that YouTube can spread it to more people like you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's go to the first target. Obviously siyazi indaba kaSithebe ukuthi signed a pre-contract with the Chiefs January, but now there's been nothing that has been said ukuthi the team has confirmed ukuthi he's a Kaizer Chiefs player, but that is due to the fact that kube nomsindo omningi around uSithebe, amaZulu and all that thing. The Zungus getting angry saying Chiefs shouldn't have approached uSithebe the way they did, but the thing is beku January and imithetho ithi if a player has 6 months remaining with contract yakhe, teams are can approach that player and sign a pre-contract. So I don't get it why amaZulu were making such a big fuss of that nje, because ilento yokuthi abantu manje bafuna ukuhlezi behlonishwe. It's business and there are rules and there are ways that business is done, and in the case kaSithebe, we're just waiting for this month to end and then Chiefs can confirm that target. And I think we will be a good signing considering the most players that are left quick club kuzoba intwana, and yena at 29 he's a bit of both because ugu 29 somewhere with Premier, and yet he has enough experience to offer to the team, because as we saw against Morocco, Bafana Bafana last night, ukuthi as much as you need young players, but you also need some experience in the team. And if you have some experience in the team, it brings that balance. You can have 6 inexperienced players but have 5 who are experienced, so that you have a balance in your team. Having said that, we move to Yusuf Mat. He's 27. He's playing for Isekukune. And Umat, it's going to be a tricky transfer for him because apparently Isekukune want 10 million for him. And that is because the contract with Isekukune is not like ending manje or ending next year. So because of Uguti contract and Isekukune, it's still there. So it's a big factor and it might affect whether or not the Chiefs end up going for him. And if you look at Umat Maidlala, he's the number 6 Zwane has been talking about. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chiefs end up paying the 10 million for him, because indlela adlala ngayo, he's a number 6 okwazi ukusitha deep, collect ball and move forward with the ball. You can play him with 4-3-3 as an anchor, you can play him as a number 8 as well with 4-3-3. You can also play him with 4-2-3-1 as the second with double pivot. So he is a really important player. If we were to get him, I wouldn't be surprised if Chiefs paid the 10 million, because given the fact that Chiefs next season, I'm sure they are just trying to rebuild and maybe get a title or 2. But the following season, so siya ku Champions League, and by that time you need to have a solid team together. So getting him now will actually give the thing yokuthi Chiefs will be building with a squad that will be growing and developing together, so that by the time we go to Africa and we play the continental football, then the team will be much more solid than getting him next season. The problem then will be he would then have to adapt to system here Chiefs and maybe not do so great, you understand? So get him while he's hot. And if you're enjoying this content up to this far, make sure to leave that like and leave a comment as well, letting me know what you think of the potential transfers that I'm talking about. Moving on to Pule Modi. I think it's time for me to move on now. I have an option for 1 season which would expire at the end of 2022-2023 season. Kaizer Chiefs, I never supported them growing up. I never supported any team, but I'm attracted to Chiefs as it's good team for me. You grow up in South Africa udlala ibhola and you're not supporting any team, unamanga mhlawumbe ube Pirates nje. So So bekafuna ukuthi kuthiwe, you know how we link this thing ukuthi he was a childhood fan, so he want to play, so maybe he was just trying to avoid that. But he's come out and said it ukuthi he does want to come to Chiefs. And what would make Umodi a good signing now, una 29, he's 10-29, is the fact that he's so versatile. He can play as a number 10, he can play as a right winger and as a left winger. Simbonile with Arrows, he's been playing multiple positions. And what you need in modern football, some people usually complain, play players in their positions. But at times, even if you have a player who plays as a right back, for instance, if udlala a team that provides a width, I'm gonna make an example again about Cameroon, Morocco yesterday. Uguti, you play a team that plays or provides so much width with their players, and then in your team you only have a right back, but in a centre back at bench. And what do? You can bring in the third centre back and then make your right back and the left back left wing backs, so that you can compensate for the width that is provided by the other team. And to do that with your players, you need versatile players. And things happen during the season. Sometimes players get injured, and we know that you can only have 5 subs. But still, you can only have 5 subs, and sometimes things just go wrong gaming, and you can't make all those subs in specific positions. And then keep, and then you must still keep a sub so that if someone gets injured later on, so then you need players to be versatile. I mean, 6. You cannot play 8. You cannot even play as an attacking midfielder. That means basically when a position. So in modern football, we've seen players who seem to do well in every other team are usually versatile. Messi no Ronaldo bebedlala as a winger, and then Messi in his case adlala as false 9, or Ronaldo adlala as number 9. So abadlali must be able to play multiple positions. The best in the world have shown ukuthi you need to adapt to different systems and also to different positions. Dylan Solomon's 26 Swallows. I'm mentioning the fact that he's playing for Swallows because we have a good relationship with the Swallows, and they are currently playing relegation playoffs right now. And his agent has come out and said that they are waiting ukuthi baqede ukudlala ama-playoffs, and then after ama-playoffs they can then decide ukuthi which team is he going to play for next season. And honestly, when it comes to indaba kaDylan Solomons, naye uyakwazi ukudlala uyi-right back, but he can play as midfield. Again, that issue of versatility and the age, he's 26. But the reason why I could see this not happening, maybe, it's because of the fact that i-agent yakhe useqala some sort of a bidding war uthi he's gotten calls more than 5-6 teams. And if that's happening, a Pirate comes along, or maybe Royal AM, because Royal AM nabane mali, or someone else, I don't really think, given the other targets that we are going after, we might end up going after Solomons, because Chiefs right now go right back badlala uBlom, which I think position yakhe angadlala more comfortably is number 6, but still he still gets the job done as a right back. And there's also Frost like a right back. Go left back Konumabili, so I don't know Hlantu Yabuya, so unless we release Hlantu, but he's still contracted. But if in terms of Uguti Guma right back, we are sort of covered, so maybe because Ungezana can also play as a right back, so right back is covered. And then as Sweeney, we are seeing most of these targets the Chiefs seems to be going after are midfielders, because Vele and Abadlales Barilizil or Akai or Baka so Manyama bebedlala lapha eswini. So our targets are more abantu abadlala eswini, and unless bezomsayinela ukuthi aye lapha eswini, I don't see how that will happen. Because the other second thing that could happen is that if efika ku-Chiefs, he's not going to be a guaranteed start. Because njengamanje, given the players that we already have, let's just say bazodlalisa uNange as a holding midfielder, uBlom, bazodlalisa uNgcobo, uNkosingphile, and bazodlalisa uSthebe. So already swing it's taken. Phambili akadlali phambili, but phambili still khona uDoli, khona uBilliard, khona uDupree. Emumva khona ungezana ku right back, khona uBlom ku right back, khona uFrostler ku right back, la khona uQuineke, khona uNgcobo. nje emumva sorted in a way, so that's why I don't see this transfer happening, because there are a lot of things that are just not in line with the fact that it's phone. And then another person, angaze ngimbone dlala, I just know his name, Fabrice Ngoma. Apparently his contract has ends this June with Iraja Casablanca, and apparently his agent has offered him to Chiefs on a free. The pro of this transfer would be the fact that he was playing for Raja Casablanca, right? That's the pro. But the con of it is the fact that, okay, let me explain why it's a pro. Because if you're playing for Raja Casablanca, it's a big team. Morocco, great. They play in the Champions League, experience and all that stuff. The con is, one, why is he leaving Raja? Is it because of his salary? Is it because of his performance? Or is it because of the fact that kune squad depth? You understand? Because if it's because of utufuna more money, vele ke Premier League, PSL has more money, and the Chiefs I'm sure can offer him a salary. But that can also be a con ukuthi uzovela umthatha umdlali and bring him to Chiefs, usuzomholela imali enkulu ajika fika boss, yabo. Because the problem that I have sometimes with players who are not playing in South Africa, who do not know the South African football, is that sometimes they come and then they fail to adapt, because the kind of football that is played in Morocco or Uganda, whatever, I would think Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, not Eastern Africa, what, all those countries are, yeah, it's not East, yeah, geography, North, East, West, Northwest Africa, I think, yeah, those countries, inkinga yabo ukubona ibhola abadlalayo, ibhola eliphysical, ibhola lamaheda, ibhola lokucompete for the ball and this and that. But Zwane is not going towards that. What I see Zwane going towards is just people abazodlala ibhola, and then if we lose the ball, we are able to, yes, use intensity and physicality, but ungagcini nje ngokuba physically kuphela, kumele ukwazi ukudlala ibhola. And njengoba ngisho, I haven't seen uFabrice Ngoma edlala, so I might be wrong about him. This is just my opinion about any player who hasn't played in South African football. He might need a season or two to adapt to the team, and that's the time that we don't have, because we need the players abazofika to come and fit i-system Chiefs and fit the way that we are trying to play. And it's completely logical for him ukuthi afike and then perform. I don't know everything, it's just my opinion. Next is uThabo Cele. Now, indaba kaThabo Cele vele came up ngoJanuary ukuthi he might sign for Chiefs, and that was because he's playing in Poland right now. If you don't know Thabo Cele, a very young man, not 25. So maye ngadlala ePoland maqala isizini, iChiefs reasonably made an approach ukuthi hey baba, come play for Chiefs and all that stuff. But then now the team that he plays for now has a new coach, and under the new coach has been getting game time. So logic dictates ukuthi you cannot be having a game time a Europe, especially a Poland. Why am I saying especially Poland? Because a Poland, most players who play in the Bundesliga come from Poland. Example, Lewandowski, not most, but bakhona baninganyana phela basuke ePoland bayodlala eGermany. And if udlale ePoland, that means the next place to go is Germany. And as we know, Germany is one of the 5 top leagues in the world. And besides that, if uzudlale ePoland, if uzudlale eGermany, usually players abadlala kwi-Premier League manje siyababona nje balandwa eGermany ngathi factory ye-Premier League, abadlali abasuka eGermany. So there's like a lot, there's a lot at stake for him. If he performs for the team that he plays for in Poland, could end up being in Germany, which is still a decent league. But more than that, he can still go and play Lokunja, Premier League, which in my opinion is the best league in the world. Most competitive, and it's enjoyable to watch it more than the other leagues. So I don't see Ucele really leaving, because it doesn't make sense, because you still have like 4 more years or 5 more years before you reach 30, and you can still come back in South Africa ama-teams asazokuthenga with the experience that you would have obtained phesheya. So akaqhubeka lo ndawo yakhe and he's already playing vele, so I don't see that happening. And also mina mangikhuluma, I'm not talking just about what's also good for Chiefs, I'm also thinking about what's good for South African football. The more players we have playing abroad, isibonile uSithole izolo ukuthi lafana lo uNtswempu and ukhame ebholeni, but in contrast to that you have Omsele batatazela ebholeni because they're not used to continental football. Yes, badlalile Confederations Cup, but maybe that's why bedliwe as the Pirates, because it's because you're not used to matches at that high level, at that high intensity, which you are press one and nani. So it's good for our football to have players who are playing overseas, because when they come back, then they share that with the squad, and it's easy for us as South Africa to compete against other teams in Africa and in the world in general as well. So I don't see Thabo happening. It could happen, but it doesn't make any sense for me. And this is the transfer of transfers that I want to see Chiefs make. Spend however much money on this guy. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment before I let you know who this player is. Mahlatsi. You know that boy is so talented and he's young and he has the right energy and he has the right spirit and ability with him. Udlaleli Swallows, good relationship we have with the Swallows. He's versatile. Uyadlala as a winger, right? Uyadlala as a left winger, right winger, and uyakwazi ukudlala as an attacking midfielder as well. So angazi ngiyahluleka. If you don't know Mahlatsi, unomfana odlalela Swallows on that red, and uNtswempu, and he's definitely the one player mangathiwa who would I sign out of all the players that we have talked about in class 7. And I would definitely go for, I know Modinai, he's good, but Mahlatsi is much younger at 23. Signing him, pay the money, get him to come to Chiefs, because akusikho ukuthi ukhuphe ibhola kuphela, uyakwazi nokudlala ibhola, hold it up, pass to other teammates, and also he can dribble past players. You need that individual brilliance with him. Imagine ngale unodoli ngapha unoMahlatsi, then phakathi unoDupree, mhlambe bese udlalisa uKhami 10. But the point is, even if umdlalisa as number 10 yena, he will bring just so much to the team. He brings the pace, he brings the ability on the ball, he brings everything that you need from a forward or an attacking midfielder. So because of how much we need a player like that, and of his age, to lower the average squad age as well, pay the money, Chiefs, pay the money. And going to the player that is surprising that I talked about, Uguti might be leaving Chiefs, I hope it's just rumors. Because, and it also doesn't make sense. Apparently Happy Mashiane is linked with leaving the Chiefs. I don't see that happening, because why? Another thing, he's a product Zwane, and Zwane is now the head coach. He's no longer playing assistant to Abo Baxter or Hand or Midfield. It doesn't make any sense ukuthi Mashiane could leave Chiefs right now. Even if it was Yabasai, no Mahlatsi, and another winger, I still don't see why. I don't see why Mashiane would leave Chiefs, because if Kugutama position aweko Pambili, then stick him at left back. Says a left back, Abenje left back in JPs, because the position aga idlala vele. So I don't see why and what sense it works in the world ukuthi uMashiane hambe kwi Chiefs. What do you guys think of these transfers? And I know there are more that I didn't cover today, but I'll make another video covering the ones that I missed. Also, if there are transfers or people that I forgot to mention, let me know down on the comment section. And what do you think of this list that I gave you? And who do you think is a good signing? Who do you think would be a bad signing for Chiefs? Let me know down on the comment section. If you enjoyed this video and you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Subscribe, like, so that YouTube can spread it to more people like you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bilo out.